So Professor, in the last section we talked about how to prepare for effective communication and how to create meaningful dialogue on the fly by listening and reflecting. Work settings can be very competitive. As challenging as it may be in itself, listening and responding suffers in stressful environments. We tend to assume things that are left unsaid. How can we solidify this listening component of communication?
Listening does not only mean hearing what the other person is saying. Try to get their words to go deeper than your ears. Attempt to understand why they might be saying something, why are they asking you something, and what are they suggesting. This is how listen to what they are not saying explicitly. Competitive, or combative listening happens when we are focused on sharing our own point of view instead of listening to someone else. You could be in a debate with a friend, and you both keep disagreeing with each other, throwing your perspectives out without focusing on, or without understanding the other person's views. What you are missing is that there is no point in obsessing over the problem unless you are working to solve it. Hence, listen to understand their perspective, get a grip over your own opinion, and then present your point. In passive listening, we are interested in hearing the other person. We assume that we have correctly heard and understood what the other person is trying to say without verifying. This may happen when we are in a hurry, and we assume we have understood what someone says, and end up making mistakes in the task we were asked to do because we were preoccupied in our own minds when we should have been listening. This is a problem because you cannot listen effectively until you solely focus on listening. When your mind is hinged on responding, you try to be ahead of the speaker, which hinders your reception, and thus breaks the chain between hearing, understanding, reflecting, and responding. In active listening, we are interested in what the other person has to say, and we are active in checking our understanding with the speaker. This is ensured by the cycle of hearing, understanding, reflecting, and responding. For example, we may restate what the person has said, and then verify whether or not our understanding is correct. The feedback process is the main difference between passive listening and active listening.
So as students, employees, or business leaders, do we just keep practicing this mindful method of listening?
Yes, absolutely. You should be listening to everyone around you. Your teachers, your peers, TED Talks, experts, YouTubers, wherever you can, you need to be absorbing. As a student, you are at the first and lowest level of your career. You need to learn as much as you can, and explore as much as you can. Listen to your peers. They are on the same journey as you. This will help you know where they are applying to, what they are doing, what they learned recently, etc. Listen to your teachers. They have the most student interaction among professionals, probably as much or more than recruiters. They often share tips and give advice based on their experience, therefore you must value their words. Listen to the people that have gone through the same path, talk to your seniors, ask them how they did what they did. Learn from their experiences, ask them for suggestions, and try to gain access to inside knowledge of the industry that you may not have access to yet. Listen to the knowledge sharers and experts, watch videos, listen to speeches, and take lessons. Analyze and absorb knowledge. You will realize that listening will assist you in understanding what is good and bad in communication. When you feel good after listening to, say, a speech by an entrepreneur, that is a sign that they are effective communicators. Try and apply what you learn. For students or employees, listening can be cooperative. Recruiters are seeking co-workers, not trying to eliminate competition. They are not a threat to you. They are out to find the best in a large pool of relevant candidates. They want the best candidates at the job, and they want to assist you. You could after all be working with them. Hence, they are most likely dropping hints, or being as direct as they can, considering they are interviewing a lot of candidates, and probably do not have time for games. So when the recruiter asks you what your motivation behind applying for this role is, they mean it. Answer as honestly you can, remember that you are selling yourself, talk about what interests you about the company and the role. Do not try and be philosophical or overly optimistic for the sake of it.
So, overcompensation in this sense does not help.
No, it does not. Today the leaders and managers of an organization try to establish a culture of listening among different levels in seniority. Your place in the hierarchy should strive to enable communication, not restrict the flow of opinions and ideas. Psychologically, positive environments allow for more openness and cross-discussion. When you listen to your team, subordinates, and employees, you foster a system where there is a growth in feedback and ideas. More the people that contribute to an idea, the better are the chances of it being analyzed by many people. This will help find faults and improve it, as more people would test it. You see, the reason so many families and couples go to relationship therapy is because they have not been listening to each other, or they feel that the other member does not understand them because they are not listening well. The same situation can exist in the professional sphere, and your employees or managers could feel a sense of disconnect from you because of the gap between the two of you. Your team should be working with you, not without you. Hence, listening is the key.
Workspaces are becoming more liberal and open for discussion, but participating in team-level discussions can be a daunting task for some people. Where does confidence fit into the picture, Professor? How does it affect the way we perceive us, and how do we do better at being seen?
Confidence is the ability to appear strong and assured. It showcases a strength of not only your character, but the content you choose to express. Matching your confidence levels to your passion for a role or task will be among your best tools at having an impact with what you say or do. To appear sure of yourself, you must first be sure of yourself. Hence, preparation is key, as we discussed. Confidence is not just relevant to situations where you are right. You must be confident while accepting your mistakes, and be open to the fact that you are human. To err is but natural. Do not shy away from facing your mistakes. Be confident in striving to correct them. If you say something incorrect, pardon yourself, and continue with the same confidence. Develop the self-belief to express yourself without apologizing for having an opinion. Dropping the caveats does not mean being conceited or self-important. It just means making a case for what you believe. It is a fine line, but be careful not to talk down your achievements out of modesty. Confidence allows you to appear as convincing as you are convinced yourself. The last piece of advice is to be comfortable in your own skin. The largest gap between poor communicators and great communicators is their confidence in themselves and what they have to communicate. One of my colleagues once responded to a question about why he was always so calm and comfortable. He said, "It took me a long time to realize that I'm pretty smart and I know what I am doing. And, once I accepted this, my enjoyment went up 10 times while my stress went down 10 times. As Jim Rohn once said, effective communication is 20% what you know, and 80% how you feel about what you know. Remember not to be too modest about your achievements, and risk the chance of seeming underconfident in your abilities, and underplaying your value as a candidate. As a speaker, unless you are confident and impressive to the audience, you cannot be an effective leader. If you are giving presentations to your team at work, or subordinates, aim to ensure they leave with a sense of awe and motivation to perform better. Your seniors need to feel proud of you, and you must be able to sell your content as capable and well analyzed. Unless you are confident, your seniors might not place faith in your decisions, and will not be convinced either. Think of Jeff Bezos and Steve Jobs, some of the most successful entrepreneurs and great public speakers. Confidence oozes out of them, and they are able to inspire and convince their employees, investors, and customers alike. They successfully engage their audience, and creation of this degree of engagement is important to good communication.
I think how one engages the audience also depends on the goal of the speaker. So, Bezos or Jobs would be entertaining a different kind of audience with a different motive than most of us do every day. Is engagement something that is limited to a particular occasion, or is it something that we need our communication skills to portray in everyday life?
Well, your aim while communicating should not only be to express, but to ensure that you are received well, elicit positive engagement and enthusiasm from your partners in communication. This enhances the communication process for both parties, by allowing you to reach them better, and allowing for their interests to be entertained as well.
So engagement is not just about the pomp and show we see at Apple product launches?
Often storytelling is used as a tool for audience engagement, but it is not the only way to capture your audience's attention. As slippery as the audience's attention might be, every speaker should know how to do it, and storytelling can be very useful to that end.
Professor, we have no scarcity of questions to answer. Let us try to understand engagement and storytelling slightly better in the next section.
Absolutely. Let us talk about storytelling and engagement in more detail in the next section.
From this section onwards, I shall be asking you 2 questions from the preceding section. Therefore, your 2 questions from section 2 are: